Yes, good evening, Manu. Yes, guys, am I audible? Please, somebody ping me if I'm audible so that I can start the session. Yes, guys, please, somebody ping me if I'm audible so that I can start the session. Okay. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Unacademy, India's largest online learning platform. Let's crack UPSC CSE English. Now, before I start the session, let me introduce myself for the people who are new on the platform or who are attending my session for the first time. My name is Alok Ojha. I've done my engineering from Pune. I have been associated with the field of UPSC since past 7 years. I have been through various stages of civil services exam. I hold the experience of giving CDS SSB twice. I also hold the experience of exams like CAPF Assistant Commandant and Uttar Pradesh PSC. I'm involved into the field of teaching since past 5 years and I have mentored more than 10,000 aspirants for UPSC. Today we are going to discuss one of the most dynamic topics today, that is Buddhism. Now, there might be a question in the mind of an aspirant why one should prefer Unacademy as a platform for online learning. So here are the ample of reasons why one should prefer Unacademy as a platform for online learning. First of all, you will have daily live classes on the Unacademy platform. Unacademy offers you assimilation of top and dynamic educators of India on a single platform. You can directly interact with the educators, you can clear all sorts of doubts with the educators. Second most important aspect, Unacademy helps to build up your competence by going through live tests and quizzes. And all the courses on Unacademy platform are highly structured in nature and there is a proper timetable through which the courses are being conducted. One can have unlimited access to the courses on Unacademy platform. Here are the few top and dynamic educators of India from whom you are going to learn through. Now, Unacademy covers the syllabus in a very comprehensive manner. Like there is a proper focus on all the GS subjects like history, geography, polity, economics, current affairs, science and technology. And apart from that, there is also complete focus on the optional subjects like public administration, sociology. Apart from that, there is also focus on literature part like Hindi literature, Kannada literature, Maithili literature, English literature and so on. Now, Unacademy has also come up with Iconic subscription. Now, what is majorly Iconic subscription all about? During the initial days, the preparation is completely haphazard. And an aspirant is majorly confused about what should I read? Where should I start my preparation from? Which NCERT should I prefer? So now basically, there would be a mentor who would be guiding you throughout your journey for civil services preparation. So this makes your preparation quite easier. So if anyone who is aspiring to go for an Iconic subscription, please use my code AKOUS. I repeat the code AKOUS. Now, Unacademy has also come up with Unacademy Combat. Now, Unacademy Combat would be held on 7th of Feb. Okay, the contest format goes like 60 minutes, 60 questions, 13 combat, which is divided into 6 sections and there would be a relative scoring. It would be conducted fortnightly. Okay, rank 1 to 3 would be getting 3 months GS Plus subscription and rank 4 to 150 would be getting ₹1000 Amazon vouchers. These are the special classes conducted by me previously. So please subscribe to Unacademy and use my code AKOUS to avail 10% benefit on your subscription. I repeat, AKOUS. Yes, Chitrapal, very good evening. Jenny, good evening. Yes, Vinod, good evening. Yes, Bapu, hello. Yes, Seema, good evening. Yes, Vanaj, my health is okay. Yesterday a bit of cough and cold, but it's now quite okay. It's fine now. Now pay attention properly. Listen to the concepts patiently and clearly because Buddhism and Jainism are two very important topics of UPSC exam. So here please focus on the aspects that I'm telling you properly. Please remember each and every fact. Here I would be following a very simple concept, that is SFC. Story, fact and concept, because it is quite easier to remember the fact and concept when it is associated with a story. So now please listen to the story properly so that you can easily understand the things in a very methodological format. in a very systematic manner. Now let's get started with Buddhism. The original name of Buddha is Siddhartha. Siddhartha basically means one who achieves his aim irrespective of the circumstances. Now his father's name was Shuddhodhan, who was ruling from Kapilavastu in UP. He belonged to Sakya clan. His mother's name was Mahamaya. Now, when his mother was pregnant, she moved from Kapilavastu to Lumbini. And when she was moving from Kapilavastu to Lumbini, she started getting labor pains. And she delivered a boy under a sal tree. And the boy was named as Siddhartha. Immediately after the birth of Siddhartha, his mother Mahamaya died. So Shuddhodhan was the father of Siddhartha. Mahamaya was a mother of Siddhartha. Now, this person, Siddhartha, was being raised up by his aunt, whose name was Prajapati Gautami. Now, on the day, an astrologer was called in for celebrating the birth ceremony of Siddhartha. And this astrologer, when he picked up the child in his hand, the astrologer, this hermit seer, he has come from the Himalayas. His name was Asita. When he picked up the child in his hand, he said to Shuddhodhan that either your child will become a great saint or he might become a great king. Now, rather than being happy about it, Shuddhodhan got very tensed because he felt that if my son becomes a great sadhu or an ascetic, I have created such a huge empire. Now, who is going to take care of this empire? So he was quite frustrated by this. So he gave all sorts of luxuries. He gave all sorts of comforts to Siddhartha. Siddhartha had never seen what is dukh, what is suffering, what is pain in life. And at the age of 16, he was married to Yashodhara. He had a son named as Rahul. I will be repeating the points again. Pay attention properly. He had a son named as Rahul. Now, at the age of 29, once upon a time, he was driving down the town. Now, when he was driving down the town, he was driving down the town along with his charioteer. And he observed four things which drastically changed his life. And these four things are referred as four great sights. First was an old man bent with age. Second was a sick man groaning with pain. Third was a corpse or a dead body which made him to think about destiny. What happens to people after death? Where does the soul goes? And the fourth was ascetic or a sannyasi. Now he was very much attracted towards the sight of sannyasi. And he went to the sannyasi and asked him one simple question. When there is so much of pain, when there is so much of suffering and dukh in this world, how come you are so calm, cool and composed? The sannyasi gave a very simple reply. Our soul, in front of our soul, there is illusion or maya. Sometimes whatever we see is not the reality. Sometimes whatever we hear is not the reality. And now started the conversation between the ascetic and Siddhartha. Siddhartha was so attracted towards a dialogue with the ascetic that he decided that now he is going to renounce his worldly life. At the age of 29, he renounced his worldly life. And this process in the history of Buddhism is referred as Mahabhinishkraman. I repeat, Mahabhinishkraman. Now, no one knew that Siddhartha had renounced his worldly life. Immediately his father Shuddhodhan launched a search operation. And now Siddhartha from this place, from Lumbini, from Kapilavastu, he reached to Rajgriha. So after renouncing his worldly life, the first place visited by Siddhartha was Rajgriha. Now he met King Bimbisar here. And Bimbisar was a very good friend of his father Shuddhodhan. Now Bimbisar offered him 25%, 1/4 of his empire. Siddhartha gave a very simple reply. If I had a greed of power, if I had the greed for administration, in fact even I am the prince, I am on a very different mission to find the truth. And once my mission is completed, I would be revisiting your kingdom back again. And now, from Rajgriha, Siddhartha visited second place, Vaishali. Now at Vaishali, he met two people. I repeat, at Vaishali, he met two people, Alara Kalam and Udak. And he learned the techniques of meditation from them. He became so expert in the techniques of meditation that Udak told him, "You teach in my place." At that time, Udak was also teaching to five other people, and one among them was Kaundinya. I repeat, one among them was Kaundinya. Okay, but Siddharth again gave the same reply to Udak, that I am on a very different mission to find the truth. And now Siddharth moved along with his companions, that is Kaundinya and the others. Now on the way, he penanced his body a lot. He walked barefooted for miles. The torso, the upper part of the body was completely naked, rather it be the scorching heat of summer, rather it be the monsoon season, or rather it be the chilling winter. He walked barefooted for miles, and finally he reached a place called as Bodh Gaya. At a place called as Bodh Gaya, he was offered rice milk for the first time by a farmer's daughter, whose name was Sujata. I repeat, whose name was Sujata. And now, after having the rice milk, he continuously sat under a peepal tree on the banks of Niranjana or Falgu river for 49 days for meditation. And on the 49th day, he attained nirvana, that is enlightenment. And from now onwards, Siddharth was referred as Buddha. Buddha means the enlightened one. He is also referred as Tathagat. I repeat the terminology. He is also referred as Tathagat, that is pathfinder of truth. I repeat, pathfinder of truth. Immediately after attaining enlightenment, the first mudra that was being performed by Buddha was Bhumi Sparsha Mudra. This question has been asked in UPSC Prelims exam. What is the significance of Bhumi Sparsha Mudra? So immediately after attaining enlightenment, Buddha performed Bhumi Sparsha Mudra. And what does that signify? I have attained the true knowledge. I have attained enlightenment. And who is the evidence for that? The evidence is Mother Earth. That is the significance of Bhumi Sparsha Mudra. Moving further, Buddha delivered his first sermon at a place called as Sarnath near Varanasi. Okay? And he delivered his first sermon in a deer park. If you remember, guys, Kaundinya was the companion of Buddha, who were also learning the techniques of meditation from Udak. So Buddha delivered his first sermon to the first five disciples, that is Kaundinya and others. And the first sermon was delivered at a place called as Sarnath near Varanasi. And this process in the history of Buddhism is referred as Dharma Chakra Parivartan. I repeat, this is referred as Dharma Chakra Parivartan. Moving further, Buddha attained enlightenment at the age of 35, and Buddha died at the age of 80. So for the time span of 45 years, he continuously delivered sermons at different places in India. Okay, I'll give you a few examples. Now, if you remember, now somehow Shuddhodhan came to know about Buddha. Shuddhodhan was father of Lord Buddha. So he came to know about Buddha. Now he sent delegations to Buddha so that these delegates could bring back Buddha to Kapilavastu. And now, for the first time when the delegates went to Lord Buddha, they became the followers of Buddha. Later on, delegations were sent for 9 times, and every time these delegates became the firm supporters and firm followers of Buddha. And when the delegations were sent for the 10th time, Buddha decided to go back to Kapilavastu. And now when he was going back to Kapilavastu, on the way he visited the kingdom of Rajgriha. If you remember, guys, I've told you, he had promised King Bimbisar that once the purpose of my life is fulfilled, I would be revisiting your kingdom. Isn't that so? So now he visited the kingdom of Magad again Rajgriha, and here he started Buddhist Sangh, so that the people who are aspiring to learn the techniques of meditation, Buddha would be guiding them. That is Buddhist Sangh. And from here onwards, he moved to Kapilavastu. When he went to Kapilavastu to meet his father, in fact, his father also became his follower. And later on, it is believed that at the age of 80, Buddha died at a place called as Kushinagar or Pawa, which is in Uttar Pradesh. And this process in the history of Buddhism is referred as Mahaparinirvana. I repeat, this process or Buddha's death in the history of Buddhism is referred as Mahaparinirvana. And it is said that after the death of Buddha, his body relics were distributed among 8 royal families, and a stupa was constructed over them. So what does stupa symbolizes? Stupa symbolizes death of Buddha, because what we say over the body relics of Buddha, stupa was constructed. It is believed that even a single part of Buddha's body is equivalent to Buddha himself. I'll give you a small example. Sanchi Stup, it is constructed over the nails of Buddha. Some stupas are constructed over the hair of Buddha. Okay, so this is majorly about how Siddhartha got converted into Gautam Buddha. Did you understand the points? Please let me know. Yes, guys. Are the points clear? Okay. Now let us quickly understand the places associated with Buddhism. There can be a direct question in the UPSC exam, and there has been question twice continuously about the places associated with Buddhism. Okay. Now let us understand this. Lumbini. What is the significance of Lumbini? Lumbini was birthplace of Buddha. Just try and remember the concepts. These concepts are very, very important from the exam perspective. Lumbini. Lumbini is basically birthplace of Buddha. Kapilavastu. Kapilavastu is the kingdom of Shuddhodhan. That is his father's kingdom. Rajgriha. If you remember the story, I have told you one important aspect. Immediately after renouncing his home, the first place visited by Buddha was Rajgriha, where he met King Bimbisar. What is the significance of Vaishali? I have told you in the story itself. At a place called as Vaishali in Bihar, Buddha met 2 people, Alara Kalam and Udak. And Buddha learned the techniques of meditation from Alara Kalam and Udak at a place called as Vaishali. Then comes Bodh Gaya. As I have told you, Buddha attained enlightenment under a peepal tree on the banks of Niranjana or Falgu river. This is called as Nirvana. And Buddha attained enlightenment. He attained Nirvana at a place called as Bodh Gaya, which is in Bihar. Moving further, what is the significance of Sarnath? As I have told you, Buddha delivered his first sermon at a place called as Sarnath near Varanasi. And this process in the history of Buddhism is referred as Dharma Chakra Parivartan. And the mudra that was performed by Buddha was Dharma Chakra Mudra. It is in this way. What does this symbolize? Whatever Buddha is teaching is directly coming from the heart of Buddha. So this is the significance of Sarnath. Then comes bulk. Okay. Now what is the significance of bulk? Let us understand this. Bulk is located in Afghanistan, and there are 2 merchants from this region, Tappusa and Ballika. I repeat, there are 2 merchants from this region, Tappusa and Ballika. They met Buddha And after having conversation with Buddha, they became staunch followers of Buddhism and the principles that were preached by Buddha. Then before Kapilavastu, it is Magad. I'll repeat. If you remember, Buddha has told the king Bimbisar that I would be revisiting your kingdom. So Buddha started the Buddhist Sangh at a place called as Rajgriha in Magad. Then comes Kapilavastu. I have told you previously itself, Buddha revisited the place Kapilavastu to meet his father. Now, Buddha attained enlightenment at the age of 35. He died at the age of 80. And for the next 45 years, that is for the span of 45 years, he continuously delivered sermons at different places in India. He spent maximum time delivering sermons at a place called as Shravasti. Do you remember Shravasti? It was the capital of Mahajanpad Kosla. Okay? Then comes Kushinagar. Kushinagar Pawa. Just we have discussed about that. Buddha died at the place called as Kushinagar or Pawa. And he died at the age of 80. This process in the history of Buddhism is referred as Mahaparinirvan and Sankasya. It is believed as per Buddhist scriptures that Buddha's soul it attained salvation or moksha from a place called as Sankasya, which is in Farrukhabad district of UP. I repeat, Farrukhabad district of UP. So these are the major places associated with Buddhism. Did you understand the places associated with Buddhism? Continuously there has been question in UPSC Prelims exam, which among the following are the places associated with Buddhism? Twice, without even changing the order of the options. Did you understand this, guys? Please let me know. Are the points clear, guys? Please let me know. Yes, Abhijit. It is believed that at a place called as Sankasya, Buddha's soul attained salvation. Okay, it got liberated from the cycle of birth and death. It got liberated from the sansar. Okay, and this occurred at a place called as Sankasya, which is in Farrukhabad district of UP. Did you understand this, Abhijit? Yes, Abhijit. Okay. Now let's move with Four Noble Truth and Eightfold Path, which is also called as Athangika, Ashtangika or Madhyam Marg. I repeat, Athangika, Ashtangika or Madhyam Marg. Okay, now let us understand this. Now, as I have told you, Siddhartha was referred as Buddha, that is the enlightened one. Okay. Now I'll give you a very simple example, and usually I tell this story to everyone. Okay. And that example is like, this is a hypothetical story, and time and again I have repeated that story. Now listen to me. Now there was a meeting of all the gods, and there was a treasure that needs to be hidden. It's a hypothetical story with a very subtle and deep message. Okay. So there was a treasure that needs to be hidden. So all the gods decided that we should hide this treasure in the space. Every god accepted that. But one god denied this, and he said that in the coming years, the science and technology will develop so much that humans will reach in the space. So the treasure won't remain safe there. Somebody suggested that it should be below the earth's surface. So the same question cropped up now. If humans can reach the space, they can also reach which place? They can also reach the, what we say, bottom of the earth. One god suggested a very simple solution, and that was, do not hide this treasure anywhere. Hide this treasure within the human beings itself. Because humans are never going to dive deep inside themselves. And once they dive deep inside themselves, they are going to create miracles in their life. Isn't that so? For example, just as a part of a joke, if we do not qualify the exam, we have all sorts of excuses. Isn't that so? But if we qualify the exam, we give the entire credit to ourselves. So similarly, like, a person can create miracles in his life when he dives deep inside himself. And that is what Buddha suggested in Four Noble Truths and Eightfold Path, or Madhyam Marg, or Ashtangika. Okay? Now, what are the Four Noble Truths? Let us understand this. There is a suffering. There is a cause of suffering. There is cessation of suffering, and there is a path to cessation of suffering. There is no living being in this world who is not fighting, or who is not, what we say, struggling for his sustenance in this world. Either it be a unicellular, microorganism, or multicellular mammals or human beings. Everybody is going through suffering, and there are causes of suffering. Okay, there are various reasons for causes of suffering, and the major reason for suffering lies within self. Whatever actions we have done in our past, that is our present, and whatever actions that we are performing in the present would become our future. So our cause for suffering in future is already pre-decided in the present. So if there is a suffering, if there is a dukh, so there is a process through which a person can come out of that dukh, and that process is Eightfold Path, or Madhyam Marg, which was preached by Buddha. Now this Eightfold Path, or Madhyam Marg, has been categorized into three major paths. Okay, first one is wisdom, second is ethical conduct, and third one is mental discipline. Now let us understand what is wisdom, what is ethical conduct, and what is mental discipline. I'll give you a very small example. And wisdom is a very important ethical quality for an IAS officer, for a civil servant. You will study these concepts in the ethics subject. So what is wisdom actually all about? Wisdom gives birth to consciousness, and consciousness is very important. I'll explain this with the help of a small example. Suppose there is a small boy, there is a child, and if you ask him, please do not go near the fire. Now this boy has heard that if we go near the fire, we'll get burnt. He had the knowledge, but he lacked experience. He did not have any experience. And one thing is for sure, if we are stopped or condemned from doing anything, we will do that thing for the first time. We'll do that with the more passionate attitude. Isn't that so? Because that is an intense curiosity that we have developed. Now the child goes near the fire and he gets burned. Now what is that? He had the knowledge, but now he also has experience. And knowledge plus experience gives birth to wisdom or consciousness. So wisdom is one of the most important aspects. Okay? Moving further, ethical conduct. I'll give you a very small example. Like, this is also among 6 social sins of M.K. Gandhi. I'll correlate this to the ethics part. M.K. Gandhi has said, education without character is worthless, and it is a social sin. For example, if we have studied or we have heard that helping out the needy ones is good, that is a virtue. Then, secondly, respecting our teachers, elders is a virtue. We have learned this. But if these things, if we have not imbibed in our character, if it does not reflect in our conduct, what is the importance of such a learning? So whatever virtues that we have imbibed, whatever good qualities that we have learned should be reflected in our conduct, should be reflected in our behavior. That is ethical conduct. Then comes mental discipline. This is majorly for the monks, and to an extent it can also be imbibed for the people who want to practice meditation. Okay, moving further, now wisdom is being categorized into right understanding and right thought. Okay, Now, what is right understanding and right thought? Let us understand this. Now, right thought and right mindfulness of mental discipline both are correlated to each other. Okay, now let us understand this. Now, Buddhism and Jainism are a part of Shramana movement, and Shramana movement is an offshoot against the evil practices of Hinduism. My friends, I have used the word, it is not against Hinduism. It is against the evil practices that were prevalent in Hinduism. Like during the later Vedic period, the status of women started declining. Sati system was prevalent. Child marriage was prevalent. Caste system became very rigid and it was very rigidly followed. Then women were denied education. Shudras were denied education. And rites and rituals were being performed by the priest at that time. These rites and rituals were highly, like the common man was highly unaware about these rites and rituals. So here, one of the major cause for suffering is following empty rites and rituals. Yes, one can follow the traditions, one can follow the beliefs, but do not follow empty rites and rituals which is against the society. That is right understanding and right thought. So right understanding means we need to understand. Rather than focusing on the empty rites and rituals, we need to focus on the upliftment of society. Okay? And that we need to understand because these two are the major reasons for our suffering. Ethical conduct. In that, right speech. One should always be honest. One should always speak the truth. And one important thing I'll tell you all about is speaking truth is voluntary in nature. Nobody can force us to speak the truth. And we can only speak the truth when we have overcome our vice of ego. Ego is a barrier. Ego is such a vice which is a barrier for all the virtues. What is virtue and vice? I'll give you an example. Virtue means that is good for ourselves and for the society. And vice means that is bad for ourselves and for the society. For example, helping others is a virtue. Then philanthropy is a virtue. Courage is a virtue. Laziness is a vice. Okay, greediness is a vice. So right speech and one of the most important aspect that stops us from acquiring more virtues is ego. Isn't that so? For example, if a person subsides his ego, the tendency to assimilate more and learn more increases automatically. And automatically, person becomes honest in his views. So right speech is speaking the truth always and always being honest. Right livelihood. One should earn his bread through hard work. And one should not indulge in evil practices for acquiring the bread. Because evil practices for time being, okay, evil practices for time being, it might give you a relief from your problems. But it has already created another problem for the future. That is why a person should follow right livelihood. And whatever things that we have learned good from the society, whatever we have learned in the past, it should be reflected in our character. That is right action. Coming to mental discipline, right effort and right mindfulness both are correlated to each other. Now pay attention properly. I had explained this concept when I was teaching Vedic civilization. You guys might have seen swastik. In swastik there are 4 dots. What does these 4 dots in the swastik symbolize? These 4 dots in the swastik simply symbolizes the status of our soul depending upon the stock of our karmas. If we have performed good karmas throughout our life, our soul might be in heaven, or we might be reborn as a human being. Or if we have performed bad karmas throughout our life, our soul might be in hell, or we might be reborn as a lower being or animal. So humans should always strive, humans should always take the right effort to minimize the bad karmas and increase the good karmas. So that is right effort and right mindfulness and right concentration. If a person has decided to achieve a goal, okay, He should smash that goal irrespective of the circumstances around him. If you have seen a big dream in your life, you are going to face big obstacles and problems in your life. Now, it completely depends upon us how we develop an attitude towards that problem. That is right concentration. Irrespective of the problems in life, one should focus on the goal. Because if you see the goal, the problem seems to be quite minimal. It seems to be quite small. That is right concentration. So this is 8 Four Noble Truth and Eightfold Path preached by Buddha. This is very important from the subject of ethics perspective as well. So did you understand this? Please let me know, guys. Yes, guys. Did you understood this? Isn't this interesting, guys? Sometimes. Okay. Now let's talk about symbols associated with Buddha. Now pay attention properly. We are going to study about the sect of Buddhism, that is Hinayan, Mahayana and Vajrayana sect of Buddhism. Okay, so there we are going to study about the practices that are followed by followers of Hinayan, Mahayana and Vajrayana. So there is one sect of Buddhism which is referred as Hinayan. And Hinayan sect of Buddhism, they believed in symbolic worship. Okay, now let's understand this. First symbol, lotus. The Sanskrit word for lotus is Lalit and it symbolizes purity. It also symbolizes flourishing nature of the society. And it is believed that when Buddha was born, when Siddhartha was born to Shuddhodhan and Mahamaya, okay, the kingdom became more flourishing. That is why lotus symbolizes birth of Buddha, because lotus is the symbol of flourishment. It is a symbol of purity. And after the birth of Buddha, the kingdom became quite flourishing. That is why lotus symbolizes what we say, birth of Buddha. Horse, as I have told you previously, that Buddha moved along with his horse, that is charioteer and the horse for driving down into the town. He observed 4 great things and after that he decided to renounce his worldly life. Now he renounced his worldly life on a horse. That is why horse symbolizes great renunciation of Buddha. That is Mahabhinishkraman. I will repeat, lotus symbolizes birth, horse symbolizes renunciation or Mahabhinishkraman. Now, Buddha, what we say, he reached at a place called as Bodh Gaya and he continuously meditated under a peepal tree for 49 days. And on the 49th day, he attained nirvana. That is enlightenment or true knowledge. So he attained nirvana on the banks of river Niranjana or Falgu under a peepal tree, which is also referred as Bodhi Vriksh or Bodhi tree. So what does the peepal tree or Bodhi tree symbolize? It symbolizes nirvana. It symbolizes enlightenment of Buddha. Moving further, as I have told you, Buddha delivered his first sermon at a deer park at a place called as Sarnath near Varanasi. And the mudra that was being performed by Buddha was Dharma Chakra Mudra. And what does this simply symbolize? Whatever Buddha is saying is directly coming from the heart of Buddha. Okay? So what is the significance of Dharma Chakra? Dharma Chakra symbolizes first sermon, first pravachan delivered by Buddha. Moving further, deer. As I have told you, the first sermon was delivered in a deer park and it was delivered to 5 disciples. So deer symbolizes the disciples of Buddha. I repeat, the deer symbolizes the disciples of Buddha. Now, conch shell. You might have seen that whenever a prayer is conducted, whenever an arti is performed, it is a conch shell is being blown. What does that symbolizes? That symbolizes the purity of the ambience. It symbolizes the purity of the environment. So conch shell symbolizes the thoughts of Buddha, which are very subtle, deep and pure. Okay, lion's roar. What does lion's roar symbolize? Lion's roar simply symbolizes that the teachings of Buddha are very effective. And if one follow these principles in his life, there can be a drastic change in his life. So Buddha's suttas, Buddha's teachings carry that power and nobility. They have the command to change a person's life. Moving further, stupa. As I have told you, Buddha died at the age of 80, and he died at a place called as Kushinagar or Pawa, which is in Uttar Pradesh. And this process in the history of Buddhism is referred as Mahaparinirvan. And after the death of Buddha, stupa was constructed over his body relics. And now what does the stupa symbolize? Stupa simply signifies the Mahaparinirvan or death of Buddha. Parasol or chhatra. If you see the structure of a stupa, you will see a parasol or a chhatra. This symbolizes the protection from the antisocial elements when a person is meditating. So I will repeat: lotus symbolizes birth, horse symbolizes renunciation, peepal tree symbolizes nirvana, dharma chakra, it symbolizes what? It simply signifies the first sermon of Buddha. Deer symbolizes the disciples of Buddha because the first sermon was held in a deer park at Sarnath near Varanasi. Conch shell symbolizes the thoughts of Buddha, which are quite pure in nature. Lion's roar symbolizes the teachings of Buddha. Stupa symbolizes death, and parasol signifies the nobility of Buddha. So these are the symbols associated with Buddhism. These are very important from the exam perspective, and time and again there can be question in the exam on these aspects. So did you understand the symbols associated with Buddhism? Yes guys, please let me know. Any question, any doubt, any sort of query, please ask me. Okay. Now let us understand sect of Buddhism. Now here we are going to understand three major sects of Buddhism. Okay. First is Heenyan, second is Mahayana, and third is Vajrayana. I repeat: Heenyan, Mahayana, and Vajrayana. Please pay attention properly. Please listen to the concepts properly. You will easily understand these concepts. Okay. Heenyan. Heenyan is referred as lower vehicle for salvation. Now the followers of Heenyan sect, they believe that Buddha was not a god. He was a normal human being like us. He has attained salvation or moksha because he has followed certain process in his life. That is eightfold path or Madhyam Marg. And then he has attained what we say moksha or salvation. So they believe in original teachings of Buddha rather than worshipping Buddha himself. They believed in individual salvation. It simply means that rather than worshipping Buddha, we should start following the principles that are preached by Buddha. And the person who is following the principle preached by Buddha will attain salvation or moksha. And the person who is not following the principles preached by Buddha will not attain salvation or moksha. They do not believe in idol worship. The literature of Heenyan is in Pali language. I repeat, the literature of Heenyan is in Pali language. Moving further, Mahayana. Mahayana are exactly opposite to the Heenyan. They believe in universal liberation. They believe that Buddha was a god. Rather than following the principles of Buddha and Buddhism, we should start worshipping Buddha. Automatically we are going to achieve salvation or moksha. They believed in idol worship. Majority of the literature of Mahayana is in Sanskrit language. I repeat, it is in Sanskrit language. That is why certain Buddhist scholars believe that Mahayana scriptures are mix of both Buddhism and Hinduism. Okay? Now, Mahayana form of Buddhism was initiated by Nagarjuna and Asanga. I repeat, Mahayana form of Buddhism was initiated by Nagarjuna and Asanga. One more important thing that you guys need to remember, pay attention properly. Now, Mahayana form of Buddhism also believed in one more concept, and that concept is Bodhisattvas. I repeat, they believed in the concept of Bodhisattvas. Now, what is Bodhisattva? Let us understand this. I'll give you a very small example so that you can easily understand the various concepts. Now, Bodhisattva, it is simply like these are Buddha in making. They are very close to attain nirvana. They are very close to attain enlightenment, but they stop attaining enlightenment. Why? Because they believe that they have learned this process of attaining enlightenment from Buddha. So now it is their responsibility and duty to teach the principles of Buddhism to the other followers of Buddha. So these are referred as Bodhisattvas or Buddha in making. Okay? So Mahayana form of Buddhism believed in the concept of Bodhisattvas. And as I have told you previously, the majority of the literature of Mahayana form of Buddhism is in Sanskrit language. Okay? And third comes Vajrayana form of Buddhism. Mahayana form of Buddhism, like as I have told you, Hinayan, it is a lower vehicle for salvation. Mahayana, it is considered as greater vehicle for salvation. And third comes Vajrayana or Tantric form of Buddhism. It is referred as diamond vehicle for salvation. Now, Vajrayana form of Buddhism, they believe that rather than worshipping Buddha and Bodhisattvas, excuse me, rather than worshipping Buddha and Bodhisattvas, we should start worshipping Taras. And who are Taras? Taras are nothing but wife of Buddha and Bodhisattvas. And once we start worshipping them, they'll be happy with us and they are going to give us the Vajra, the weapon. That weapon will help us in attaining salvation or moksha. They believed in Tantra, Yantra and Mantra. They believed in Tantric techniques. Ratna Gotra Vibhag. I repeat, Ratna Gotra Vibhag and Manjushri Mool Kalp. These are books on Tantric Buddhism. I'll repeat the books. Ratna Gotra Vibhag and Manjushri Mool Kalp. These are books on Tantric Buddhism or Vajrayana form of Buddhism. And majority of the literature again are in Sanskrit language. So, Hinayan, Mahayana and Vajrayana. Hinayan believed in individual salvation. Literature is Pali. It is lower vehicle for salvation. Mahayana, they believed in idol worship. They are mix of Hinduism and Buddhism. Secondly, they believed that Buddha was a god and they believed in universal liberation. They also believed in the concept of Bodhisattvas. It is considered as greater vehicle for salvation. Then comes Vajrayana. It is referred as diamond vehicle for salvation. And they believe in acquiring magical powers to attain salvation or moksha. Manjushri Mool Kalp and Ratna Gotra Vibhag are important books on this what we say Vajrayana form of Buddhism. Did you understand the concept? Please let me know, guys. Yes, guys. Any doubt, any query, any sort of question, please ask me. Yes, guys. Okay, now let's start with another important topic, Buddhist Sangh, that is monastic order. Okay. Now, as I have told you previously, after renouncing his worldly life, Buddha visited the first place, that is Rajgriha in Magad. And at a place called as Rajgriha, okay, he met Bimbisar. And now he told Bimbisar that once the purpose of my life is fulfilled, I would be revisiting your kingdom again. Okay. Now, after what we say attaining enlightenment, he delivered his first sermon. Then on the way back, he visited the kingdom of Magad. And at Magad, he started Buddhist Sangh or monastic order. Now, what is Buddhist Sangh or monastic order all about? Anyone who aspires to become a monk or a nun, or anyone who aspires to learn the meditative practices with complete discipline should join the Buddhist Sangh. And here, the various people who have learned the techniques of meditation from Buddha would be teaching the meditative practices to the followers in the Buddhist Sangh. Now, what was the first criteria? The minimum age for joining the Buddhist Sangh was 15 years, 15 years. And second major criteria, they completely need to renounce their worldly life. They completely needs to detach themselves from the worldly life. Then they can learn the techniques of meditation, and it needs to be done with complete discipline. Apart from that, after joining the Buddhist Sangh, they have to take 3 vows. Either it be a monk or a nun, bhikshu or a bhikshuni. They had to take 3 vows, and after taking these 3 vows, they can enter into the Buddhist Sangh or monastic order. And what were these 3 vows? Buddham Sharanam Gacchami. I take refuge in the teachings of Buddha. Dhammam Sharanam Gacchami. I take refuge in the dharma or the principles of Buddhism. And Sangham Sharanam Gacchami. I take refuge in this Sangh and I promise to abide by the rules and regulation of the Sangh. So, a person joining the Buddhist Sangh needs to take 3 vows. I'll repeat. Buddham Sharanam Gacchami. I go to Buddha for refuge. I take shelter in Buddha's teachings. Second, Dhammam Sharanam Gacchami. I go to Buddha for refuge and imbibe the teachings of Buddhism. And third comes Sangham Sharanam Gacchami. I take refuge in the Sangh. I take refuge in the what we say monastic order. And now to become paramita, that is perfect, they need to follow the 10 commandments. Please note down this terminology. This terminology can be asked in the UPSC Prelims exam. What is paramita as per Buddhism? So paramita is nothing but spiritual perfectness. I repeat, paramita is nothing but spiritual perfectness. So to become perfect, a person needs to follow 10 commandments if he is a part of the Buddhist Sangh. And what are the 10 commandments that a person need to follow? Let us understand this. First thing, to speak the truth. One should completely be honest. And as I have told you, truth is always voluntary in nature. And to speak the truth, one need to suppress the vice of ego. Second, one should completely follow celibacy, brahmacharya. Not to harm any creatures. That is non-violence. And here non-violence should be strictly observed in thought, words and deeds. I'll give you a small example. We have only one connotation of violence, that is physical violence. But violence is of 3 types. Thoughts, words and deeds. For example, if we guys have fight with someone else, what will happen? We will continuously have an ill will feeling towards that person. Isn't that so? That is violence in thoughts. What is violence in words? Speaking in a slang language to someone, speaking in a very weird or absurd language to someone, that is violence in words. And finally comes physical violence. So one should be completely non-violent in thought, words and deeds. Not to own property. If a person is owning a property, he cannot completely focus on the meditative practices because his mind will continuously cling to his assets. Isn't that so? Suppose a person has a lots of money, he has a car, he has a bungalow, and he has went for the meditation. His mind will completely cling to his assets, his bank balance. He cannot focus properly on the meditation. So not to own property and not to keep the money. Then comes to take meals only at the fixed time of the day. Okay? Not to use any sort of intoxicants, not to use the scented goods, not to use cushions, and finally to shun music and dance. So the people to become paramita, paramita means spiritually perfect. They need to follow these 10 commandments which are a part of Buddhist Sangha. Did you understand the concept? Please let me know. Yes guys, any query, any doubt, any sort of question, please let me know. Yes please. Yes guys, did you understood the concept? Shall I ask you a few questions guys, so that I can understand that how many of you are keenly and actively listening to me? Shall I go for a question round? I'll be asking you just 2 to 3 questions, so that I can understand that how many of you are keenly, patiently and actively listening to me. Yes guys. Yes, Abhijit, one cannot listen to the music. One cannot go for dancing because your mind needs to be completely stable while meditating. That is the meaning of shunning the dance and music. Okay? Okay. My first question. Buddha had renounced his worldly life at the age of 29. And what is that process in the history of Buddhism referred as? Yes, guys. It's a very easy. I have used this terminology time and again. Yes. It is referred as Mahabhinishkraman. Okay, very good. My second question. Okay. My second question is, Buddha attained enlightenment at the age of 35. And he died, or he attained Mahaparinirvan at the age of 80. So for a span of 45 years, he kept on preaching the sermons. So where did he preach the maximum number of sermons, or where did he spend maximum time of his monastic life? Yes, it's a very easy one, and we have studied about that, guys. Yes, please. It is Shravasti, which was the capital of Kosala Mahajanpad, if you remember that. Okay. The last question that I would be asking you, what is the meaning of word paramita? I repeat, what is the meaning of the word paramita? The word paramita means spiritually perfect. Okay. So now let's come to the concept of Chaitya and Vihar. Now let us understand this concept, and I'll tell you how the questions can crop up in the exam. Okay. Now pay attention properly. Now, as I've told you, the bhikshus and the bhikshunis, that is monks and nuns, completely they were relied on what? They were relied on alms. They had to take bhiksha, and on that bhiksha they had to sustain their livelihood. And now these monks used to wander from place to place in search of alms, in search of bhikshas. That is why they are referred as bhikshuk and bhikshuni. Now they used to take bhiksha during the summer and the winter season, but during monsoon season they required a place to stay. So during the ancient times, what used to happen? The kings used to go to the jungle for hunting, and in the jungle itself they had made their rest houses. And when the rulers started patronizing Buddhism and Jainism, they started converting these caves into the residing place for the monks. I repeat, these, what we say, patronizers, these rulers started converting these caves into what we say, the residing place for the monks. And now please understand the concept. Please listen to me patiently and carefully. Now, suppose this is the entrance of the cave. A monk is entering into the cave. At the end of the cave, he will either find a small stupa that was constructed, or he will find a statue of Buddha. He will go in front of that statue, or he will go in front of that stupa and circumambulate that stupa, and he will do a pradakshina of that stupa. What does that circumambulation or pradakshina symbolize? This simply signifies I keep the teachings of Buddha at the center of my life. That is why a pradakshina or circumambulation is performed. So a person enters there, he prays in front of the statue or he prays in front of the statue or a stupa, he performs a pradakshina or circumambulation, and there is a space in between. So he will sit there and meditate. That place where a person or a monk or a bhikshuni is meditating, that is called as Chaityagriha, that is prayer hall. And just besides the Chaityagriha, there are strong bulky columns, and just behind the bulky columns are small cubicle rooms. These are called as Vihar. And what is Vihar? Vihar is nothing but residing place for monks and nuns. So Chet means prayer hall where the meditation is being performed, and Vihar means residing place for the monks and nuns. These are called as Vihar, Guha, Hamya, Addayog, Pasad. In very simple words, these are nothing but caves or residing place for monks. During the ancient times, there were many caves in the the region of Bihar. That is why the name of Bihar has been derived from the word Vihar. Nalanda Vihar, one of the finest example. Isn't that so? Okay, moving further. With the passage of time, these Vihar became an important center for Buddhist learning. These Chaityagriha and Vihar became an important center for Buddhist learning. And there was a question in the UPSC Prelims exam, match the following. And on one side there was monastery, on the other side there are locations of that monastery, match the following. Okay, like I'll give you a small example. Hemis Monastery, it is located in Ladakh. Tawang Monastery, it is located in Arunachal Pradesh. Now, what is the meaning of Tawang Monastery? I'll give you a very small example. The meaning of Tawang Monastery is what we say, chosen horse monastery. Now, why it is referred as chosen horse monastery? I'll give you a small example. Once upon a time, a monk was traveling on his horse. He was riding on the horse and he saw a cave. Now, he decided that he is going to enter into the cave and simply sit and meditate, because the atmosphere and the ambience was quite peaceful and serene. So he stationed his horse outside the cave and he put certain green grass in front of that horse, and he went inside the cave for meditation. Now when he came back, he saw that his horse was missing and the grass was at that place. Now he started searching the horse. Okay, and after lots of searching, he found that horse was having his food on the top of a hill. And he went on the top of a hill and he saw and he observed one astonishing and surprising thing. What was that? The horse had left the green grass and he was now grazing the dried grass. But when he saw the ambience around that hill, it was much peaceful and serene than the cave. Now he decided to construct a monastery at this place. So now he constructed a monastery which is referred as Tawang Monastery. Now what is Tawang like? Tawang means chosen horse. Why? Because this location has been chosen by the horse. That is why Tawang Monastery is also referred as chosen horse monastery. Okay. Now there is a place called as Parkhang Hall. Parkhang Hall is nothing but library in the Tawang Monastery in Arunachal Pradesh, where a person can visit and read the books of Buddhism history. It majorly in Tawang monastery, Tibetan form of Buddhism is practiced. That is Vajrayana form of Buddhism. Tantric practices. I've talked about that. Another important monastery, Namdroling Monastery, Kurg region, Karnataka. Have you heard about Kurg region? Kurg is known for beauty, warrior and coffee. Maidan and Malnad. You might have studied this in geography, guys. That there are three types of coffee that are cultivated. Arabica, Robusta and Liberica. These are found in Kurg. So there is a monastery called as Namdroling in Kurg district of Karnataka. And there is another monastery called as Mindrolling, which is in Dehradun, Uttarakhand. So people, please do not, friends, please do not get confused. Namdroling is in Kurg region of Karnataka. And Mindrolling, where is it? It is located in Uttarakhand. There was a question in the form of match the following. You can see the past year prelims question paper. Okay, Tabo Monastery. Tabo Monastery is located in one of the most remotest districts of India. That is Spiti Valley of Himachal Pradesh. One more important fact of Tabo Monastery. Tabo Monastery is referred as Ajanta of Himalayas. Why? The Ajanta caves in Aurangabad district of Maharashtra are known for its mural paintings. Mural painting means the painting that is done on the wall. That is mural painting. So here in the Tabo Monastery, one can come to know about the life of Buddha. One can come to know about the symbolic form of Buddhism. One can come to know about the various sect of Buddhism in the form of painting. So that is why Tabo Monastery is also referred as what we say Ajanta of Himalayas. Inche Monastery, it is located in Sikkim. Okay, it is located on the foothills of Kanchenjunga. I repeat, it is located on the foothills of Kanchenjunga. K Monastery, Spiti Valley, again Himachal Pradesh. There can be a probable question in the UPSC Prelims exam. Which among the following monasteries are located in Spiti Valley, Himachal Pradesh? Which among the following monasteries are located in Ladakh? Which monastery is located in Kurg region of Karnataka? And there was a question, guys. On one side, there is a monastery. On the other side, these are locations. Which among the monasteries are incorrectly matched with the location? You can go through the past year prelims question. You'll come to know. So this is majorly about Chaitya and Vihar and important Buddhist monasteries. Are the points clear, my friends? Please let me know. Yes, guys. Are the concepts clear, my friends? Please let me know. Any doubt, any query, any sort of question? Weird is not a good word. Okay, it's not like, yes, Monisha, we are not running English classes here. Okay, we are running a classes for history. So weird basically means something different from the normal. That is the meaning of weird. So we are not learning English, we are learning the history here. So let's focus on history. Okay. Okay. Yes, Abhilash Sharma, what you didn't understood, please ask me. Which concept didn't understand? Yes. As you have answered that, you didn't understood the concept. So what didn't understand? Please let me know. So that I can move further without wasting any more time. Okay, now let's speak about mudras of Buddhism. Now, Bhumi Sparsha Mudra. Now let us understand this. As I have told you, Buddha attained enlightenment. Acha, okay Abhilesh. No doubt. Okay, thank you, thank you. Okay, yes, it's okay. What is Bhumi Sparsha Mudra? Bhumi Sparsha Mudra, what is the significance? Let us understand this. Now, as I have told you, Buddha attained enlightenment under a peepal tree, which is also referred as Bodhi tree, on the banks of Niranjana or Falgu river. And immediately after attaining enlightenment, he performed one mudra which is referred as Bhumi Sparsha Mudra. And what is the significance of Bhumi Sparsha Mudra? The significance of Bhumi Sparsha Mudra is I have attained the enlightenment. And what is the significance for that? Mother Earth is the significance for that. So this is the importance of Bhumi Sparsha Mudra. And there was a question in the UPSC Prelims exam. What is the significance of Bhumi Sparsha Mudra? Second comes Dhyan Mudra. Now, this mudra is basically performed by a yogic. This mudra is usually performed by an ascetic or a sannyasi. And what does that signify? This signifies complete meditation practices. No disturbance, right concentration while meditation. This is referred as Dhyan Mudra. And when Buddha was, I'll give you a very small example. Okay, as I have told you, Buddha was continuously meditating for 49 days. And on the 49th day, he attained enlightenment. Now it is believed that there was a demon king whose name was Mara. I repeat, there was a demon king whose name was Mara. Now he tried to disturb the meditation practices of Buddha. But still, Buddha was so lost in his concentration that basically he did not pay heed or attention to Mara. That is the demonic king. So basically, Dhyan Mudra simply signifies what? It simply signifies right concentration. And this gesture was performed when he was meditating. Then comes Vitarka Mudra. Vitarka Mudra, it is in this way. There is continuous flow of energy. Okay? Anjali Mudra. What is the meaning of Anjali? Anjali means the palms. And Anjali Mudra is nothing but Namaskar Mudra. Isn't that so? Now, this mudra is not majorly for Buddha. It is majorly for Bodhisattvas. I'll repeat. This mudra is majorly for Bodhisattvas. Why? Because they are bowing in adoration. They are bowing in respect in front of Buddha, in front of Buddha's knowledge. That is the significance of Anjali Mudra. Are you getting the point? So Anjali means palms, closing both the palms, and Namaskar Mudra, that is Anjali Mudra. Okay. Abhay Mudra. Now what is Bhay? Bhay means fear. What is Abhay? Abhay means fearless. A person who is fearless is referred as Abhay. And if a person has conquered his senses, if he has limited his what we say desires, because the ultimate cause for suffering is a desire. So if he has conquered his senses, if he has limited his desires, so he will develop an inner strength and security. So that is the significance of Abhay Mudra. Okay? Dharma Chakra Mudra, as I have already told you, and it has been specified here, Dharma Chakra Mudra is in this way. This simply exemplifies whatever Buddha is saying is directly coming from the heart of Buddha. I repeat, whatever Buddha is saying is directly coming from the heart of the Buddha. Okay? Vajra Mudra. Vajra Mudra is in this way. Okay? Now the finger symbolizes knowledge, and wisdom protects our knowledge. This is the significant. What does this finger signifies? Index finger? It is signifying the knowledge, and it is the wisdom that is protecting our knowledge, because until and unless one has the wisdom, until and unless one has the consciousness, the vivek, then that knowledge is worthless. So Vajra Mudra simply signifies the wisdom protects our knowledge. And finally comes Uttar Bodhi Mudra. This is like this. supreme enlightenment. When everyone, what we say, follows the 8 principles or Madhyam Marg preached by Lord Buddha, he attains supreme enlightenment. This is Uttar Bodhi Mudra. Okay? By now, UPSC has just asked what is the significance of Bhumi Sparsha Mudra. I repeat, what is the significance of Bhumi Sparsha Mudra? Okay? So these are the various mudras associated with Buddhism. Did you understand the concept? Please let me know. Yes, guys, did you understand the concept? Okay. Let's quickly move with stupa architecture. Okay. Now, what does stupa symbolize? Stupa simply signifies the Mahaparinirvan or death of Buddha. Okay. Now, pay attention carefully. Listen to me very carefully. Now, there are 3 types of stupa. I repeat, there are 3 types of stupa. One is Sharirik stup. Second is Paribhogika stup. And third is Uddeshika stup. As I have told you, after the death of Buddha, his body relics were distributed among the 8 royal families, and a stupa was constructed over it. For example, like Sanchi stupa was constructed over the nails of Buddha. So it is the body part of the Buddha. Such stup is referred as Sharirik stupa. Then comes Paribhogika stup. Now, what is the significance of Paribhogika stup? Paribhogika stup is constructed over the belongings of Buddha. I'll give you a very small example. Like there is one stupa in Bihar which is referred as Kesariya stup. And Kesariya stup, it is located in Champaran district of Bihar. It is constructed over the alms bowl of Buddha. Okay? So, this good was used by Buddha in his life. That is why it is referred as Paribhogika. So, basically, any, what we say, stupa constructed over the belongings of Buddha, that is referred as Paribhogika stup. And Kesariya stup is one among them, which is referred as Paribhogika stup. And then comes Uddeshika stup. What is Uddeshika stup? Uddeshika stup is like in the memory of Buddha. Any stupa which is constructed in the memory of Buddha or which reflects Buddha's teachings, that is Uddeshika stup. I repeat, Sharirik stup, which is constructed over the body remains of Buddha. Paribhogika stup, I'll give you a small example. Kesariya stupa is a Paribhogika stup. So which is constructed over the body belongings of Buddha, that is Paribhogika stup. And finally comes Uddeshika stup, which is created in the memory of Lord Buddha, that is Uddeshika stup. Now, let us understand the architecture of stupa. Pay attention properly. There can be a probable question in the exam about the architecture. Okay? Now, just observe the picture on the right hand side of the screen of a stupa. Exactly on the top, you will find Chhatra. What does the Chhatra signify or symbolize? The Chhatra simply signifies what? It simply signifies one important thing. That is nobility of Buddha. The knowledge of Buddha, which is quite dignified and supreme. That is why it is exactly at the top of stupa. That is the significance of Chhatra. Exactly below the Chhatra, you will observe a square railing. That is referred as Harmika. No one can enter Harmika. Why? Because exactly below Harmika, you will observe a dome-like structure which is Anda. And between Harmika and Anda, you will observe Tabena. I repeat, between Harmika and Anda, one can observe Tabena. Can you see this part on the screen? Tabena, a small semicircle is made there. That is Tabena. So what is the significance of Tabena? As I have told you that the stupa is constructed over the body relics of Buddha, or the stupa is constructed over the belongings of Buddha. So where are these body relics or what we say belongings kept? These are kept in Tabena. That is just below Harmika. Then you can observe the solid core, that is Anda. Okay, that is Anda. So Anda is nothing but a semicircular dome-like structure. Then comes Pradakshina Path, that is basically for circumambulation. And as I have told you, like there is inner Pradakshina Path, there is outer Pradakshina Path. Now, what does the circumambulation or Pradakshina signify? This simply signifies one thing. That is, I have attained enlightenment. What is the significance of circumambulation? I keep the teachings of Buddha at the center of my life. I keep Buddha at the center of my life. That is the significance of circumambulation or Pradakshina. So Medhi is the outer Pradakshina Path. Then you can observe Vedika. So Vedika is nothing but the boundary wall. And on the boundary wall, here, Buddha is depicted in various formats. Like lotus, as I have told you, signifies birth of Buddha. Horse, it signifies the great renunciation or Mahabhinishkraman. Okay. And finally, you can see a gateway in the four direction. And that gateway is nothing but Toran. Can you see the gateways in the four direction? These gateways are nothing but Toran. What is the significance of a Toran? For example, whenever we have function or whenever we have a festival at home, we make a garland, that is referred as Toran, at the entrance door of our house. This simply signifies that we are entering into an auspicious ambience, or we are entering into an auspicious environment. That is the significance of Toran. And the concept of Toran to the stupa was added by whom? It was added by Satvahan dynasty rulers. Initially, there was no Toran in the stupa architecture. Okay, the concept of Toran in the stupa architecture was added by Satvahan dynasty rulers. So did you understand the concept or the architecture of stupa? Please let me know, guys. Yes, guys. Did you understand the concept? Okay. Now let us talk about important stupas in India. Okay, we'll talk about the important stupas in India. First is Piprava Stupa. It is the oldest stupa. Then comes Sanchi Stupa. Just you need to remember the places. Okay, like as I have told you about the monasteries, similarly there can be a probable question in the exam. On one side you will get the stupa and on the other side you will get the location. Match the following, or there can be a probable question, which among the following are incorrectly matched, or which among the following are correctly matched. So you have to study in that way. Sanchi Stupa, as the name suggests, it is located in Sanchi, Madhya Pradesh. Now originally this stupa was constructed by Ashok, and originally this stupa was constructed in bricks. But after the Mauryan Empire, there came up a Brahmin dynasty which is referred as Shunga dynasty, and the founder of Shunga dynasty was a Pushyamitra Shung. He destroyed all the stupas all over India, but his son Agnimitra Shung, he was a liberal ruler. So Sanchi Stupa, which was being destroyed by whom? Pushyamitra Shung, was reconstructed by Agnimitra Shung. But this time the Sanchi Stupa was reconstructed in stone. As I have told you, like initially it was constructed in bricks by Ashok. Later on it was constructed in stone. Okay. Then it is believed that As I've told you previously, Shungas were later on succeeded by Satavahan dynasty, and Satavahan rulers added the concept of Toran. I repeat, they added the concept of Toran or gateway to the stupas. So Sanchi Stupa, it is in MP. Dhamek Stupa, okay. I have told you one important concept. Buddha delivered his first sermon, and he delivered his first sermon at a place called as Sarnath near Varanasi in a deer park. The place where Buddha delivered his sermon, a stupa is constructed there, and that stupa is Dhamek Stupa. Okay, it is Dhamek Stupa. Chaukhandi Stupa, it is also located in Sarnath, Varanasi. And what is the significance of Chaukhandi Stupa? I've told you Buddha delivered his first sermon in a deer park to 5 disciples. And where did he meet these 5 disciples? He met the 5 disciples at a place called as Chaukhandi, which is in Sarnath near Varanasi. And that is why a stupa is also constructed here at near the Sarnath. One important fact about Chaukhandi Stupa. Recently in 2019, Archaeological Survey of India declared Chaukhandi Stupa as a protected site of national importance. I repeat, protected site of national importance. Okay, moving further, Ramabhar Stupa. As I have told you, Buddha died at a place called as Kushinagar or Pava, which is in UP. So a stupa has been constructed in the memory of Buddha's Mahaparinirvana. That is Ramabhar Stupa. And why it is referred as Ramabhar Stupa? Because just beside the stupa there is a small pond. There is a small lake which is referred as Ramabhar Lake. That is why the stupa is referred as Ramabhar Stupa. Okay, moving further, just I have talked about one concept, that is Paribhogika Stupa. Okay, like certain stupa are constructed over the body relics of Buddha. Certain stupa are constructed over the certain stupa are constructed over the body relics. Certain stupa are constructed over the belongings of Buddha. So this stupa, Kesariya Stupa, it is constructed over the alms bowl of Buddha. That is why Kesariya Stupa is a Paribhogika Stupa, and it is located in Champaran district of Bihar. And finally coming down to another last stupa, that is Anantapindika Stupa. Now Anantapindika Stupa, it is located in Shravasti. So did you get the important stupas in India and their locations? Please let me know. Yes guys. Yes Sahil, the daily class time, the Inspire Crash Course time is at 6 p.m. in the evening. And one can get the detailed notes on my Telegram channel, that is Unacademy _ Alok Ojha. I repeat, Unacademy _ Alok Ojha. Okay. Yes guys, did you understand the concepts? Please let me know. Okay, now let's talk about various schools of art. Gandhar School of Art, Mathura School of Art, and Amravati School of Art. Okay, pay attention properly. Okay, there can be a probable question in the UPSC Prelims exam on the comparative analysis of the various schools of art. That is Gandhar School of Art, Mathura School of Art, and Amravati School of Art. So listen to me very carefully. Gandhar School of Art, the name itself suggests, this school of art developed in the region around Afghanistan, that is around the region of Pakistan and Afghanistan. Now, the way Buddha has been depicted in Gandhar School of Art is completely different from Amravati and Mathura School of Art. And there can be a probable question in the exams, and I will be giving you an example for that. Like, in Gandhar School of Art, okay, Buddha is sitting in a meditative posture. His eyes are half closed. He has elongated and long ears, which simply signifies the noble family and the origin of Buddha. He has curly hairs. The cloth on Buddha's body, the drapery on the Buddha's body is having fold. Okay, and the head of Buddha is protruded. Protruded means it is like the head of the Buddha is just moving a bit forward. This simply signifies what? The knowledge that Buddha is holding in his forehead. So these are the features of Gandhar School of Art. And like example, Bamiyan Caves, which is in Afghanistan. I repeat, Bamiyan Caves in Afghanistan. Standing statue of Buddha in Afghanistan. All these belongs to Gandhar School of Art. And the most dominant material used for making the idols of Buddha is red sandstone. And it is not indigenous art because it was not developed in the country. Then comes Mathura School of Art. And one more feature of Gandhar School of Art, the body of Buddha is without any ornamentation and the halo. What is halo? You might have seen the pictures of God and you will observe there is one circular, what we say, aspect behind the God from where the light or energy is coming out. Isn't that so? That is referred as halo. So halo behind the Buddha's head is simple and is not decorated in Gandhar School of Art. Now coming to Mathura School of Art. Now the statue of Buddha in Mathura School of Art is also made up of red sandstone, but the features here are different. Like if somebody observes the statue of Buddha, he will feel that Buddha is having a conversation with someone. He is in a delighted mood. The drapery or the clothes on Buddha's body do not have folds. Okay. Another important aspect, you can see chanwars. What is chanwar in Mathura School of Art? Chanwar basically means there are two people standing by side of Buddha and they are holding a fan-like structure in their hand and they are waving it at Buddha. Chanwars. This can be observed in Mathura School of Art. And the most dominant material in Mathura School of Art is spotted red sandstone. Because in the nearby region, red sandstone is found in abundance. Okay? And finally moving to, and it is completely indigenous. It developed in India itself. And then we come to Amravati School of Art. The most dominant material of Amravati School of Art was, yes, white marble, and it is indigenous and not influenced by external factor. It developed in the region of Krishna Godavari Valley, to be very specific, in the region around Andhra Pradesh. One important aspect, rather than individual features of Buddha, in Amravati School of Art, one can observe the life story of Buddha in a symbolic format. Like, as I've told you, horse depicts the renunciation, then lotus depicts the birth of Buddha. So here, rather than focusing on individual aspects and features of Buddha, there is more emphasis and focus on the life of Buddha. This can be observed at Amravati School of Art. Okay? Are the points clear till here? Please let me know, guys. Yes, guys, are the points clear till here? Any doubt, any query, any sort of question? Yes, moving further. Caves associated with Buddhism. There can be a direct question in the UPSC exam, the caves and their locations. So here we are going to understand the important caves. One of the caves, I have just given you an example in Gandhar School of Art. That is Bamiyan Caves. Where is Bamiyan Caves located? Bamiyan Caves is located in Afghanistan. Okay. So now let us start. Karli Caves. Where is Karli Caves located? It is located in the region of Pune, Maharashtra. One of the most striking feature of Karli Cave is it has one of the largest Chaityagriha in India. And I have already talked about what is Chaityagriha. Chaityagriha is nothing but the prayer hall. Again, I'll repeat the concept within few seconds. Suppose a monk is entering into the cave. He enters into the cave and at the end of the cave, one will find a statue of a Buddha or a stupa. He circumambulates that statue and he sits in the middle of the cave for prayer. That portion where he's sitting for a prayer or meditation is referred as Chaityagriha. So, Karle Caves, which is located in Pune, Maharashtra, it has one of the largest Chaityagriha in India. Bhaja Caves, again Bhaja Cave, it is located in Pune, Maharashtra. I repeat, Bhaja Cave, it is located in Pune, Maharashtra. Kanheri Caves, Kanheri Cave is located in Mumbai, Maharashtra. Okay, and it has the second largest prayer hall. It is the second largest Chaityagriha in India. Second major aspect, just outside the cave, one can observe Podhi. I repeat, just outside the Kanheri caves, one can observe Podhi. Podhi. I repeat, Podhi. What is Podhi? Podhi are nothing but small water cistern or water tanks. There might be two purposes. One, that is before entering the Chaityagriha, one can wash his feet, or probably it might be a water harvesting technique or water saving technique which can be used during the emergency situation. So Podhi has been observed outside Kanheri caves in Mumbai, Maharashtra. Pandavleni caves. Pandavleni caves majorly is not concerned with the characters of Mahabharata, that is Pandavas. It is located in the region of Nasik, Maharashtra. It is group of 24 caves. Totally there are 24 caves in Pandavleni caves. It is located in the region of Nasik, Maharashtra. And probably, I repeat, probably this cave might have been patronized by Satavahan dynasty rulers. Why? Because on one of the pillars of the cave, we have observed the name of Gautami Balsari. And Gautami Balsari was mother of Satavahan dynasty ruler Gautami Putra Satkarni. So probably these caves might have been patronized by whom? Satavahan dynasty rulers. Moving further, Ajanta and Ellora caves. Ajanta caves are located in Aurangabad district of Maharashtra. Pay attention, we'll go individually. Ajanta caves are located in Aurangabad district of Maharashtra. Here you can find architecture, sculpture and painting. All the three forms of what we say architecture can be observed here. That is architecture, sculpture and painting. Painting are done on the walls and is referred as mural painting. We come to know about the life of Buddha from these paintings. Totally there are 31 caves in Ajanta caves. So Ajanta caves are a group of caves and it comprises of 31 caves. Okay, then here Ajanta caves you will not find a courtyard. Why one cannot find a courtyard? Because Ajanta caves are built upon a perpendicular cliff. That is why no courtyard can be observed here. And as per the excavations, it is believed that the caves majorly has been patronized by Satavahan dynasty rulers. I repeat, Ajanta caves are majorly patronized by Satavahan dynasty rulers. Moving to Ellora caves. One more thing about Ajanta caves. Ajanta caves are completely dedicated to Buddhism. I repeat, Ajanta caves are solely dedicated to Buddhism. Coming to Ellora caves. Ellora caves, here also you will find all the three forms of art and architecture, like architecture, sculpture and painting. It is also located near Ajanta caves in Aurangabad district of Maharashtra. Here you will find a courtyard. Why? Because it is not built upon a perpendicular cliff, but it is built upon a sloping cliff. There is a slope. So one can observe what? One can observe here a courtyard. Most striking feature. Like as we have seen, Ajanta caves are fully dedicated to Buddhism. But Ellora caves you will find here mixture of Hinduism, Jainism and Buddhism. I repeat, the caves are dedicated to Hinduism, Buddhism and Jainism. and majority of the caves have been patronized by Rashtrakuta rulers. I repeat, majority of the caves of Ellora have been patronized by Rashtrakuta rulers. Okay, I'll give you a small example. Cave number 14 in Ellora cave, it is dedicated to the Dashavatar. Sorry, it is referred as Ravan ki Khai. Cave number 14 is referred as Ravan ki Khai. Cave number 15, it is dedicated to Lord Vishnu, Dash Avatar. Cave number 16, it is dedicated to Lord Shiva, Kailashnath temple. So here we can conclude that there are 12 caves which are completely dedicated to Buddhism. So here there are mixture of Hinduism, Buddhism and Jainism. Okay, moving on to the next cave, Bagh caves. Bagh caves are located in Dhar district of Madhya Pradesh. And these caves were being founded by a Buddhist monk named as Datak. I repeat, these caves were being found by a Buddhist, what we say, monk named as Datak. Did you understand the concepts? Please let me know. One more cave, Bamiyan cave, as I have told you previously, it is located in Afghanistan. Yes, guys. Understood the points? Please let me know. Okay, now let us talk about the temples here. Angkor Wat temple. The mention of Angkor Wat temple you will also find in the NCERT. Where is Angkor Wat temple located? The Angkor Wat temple, it is located in Cambodia, which is also referred as Kampuchea. Okay, now initially it was a Vishnu temple. I repeat, initially it was a Vishnu temple and later on it became a Buddhist temple. It is a UNESCO World Heritage Site. So there can be a probable question in the exam. Where is Angkor Wat temple located? So it is located in Cambodia, that is Kampuchea. Then comes Borobudur temple. So where is Borobudur temple located? It is located in Indonesia and it is the world's largest Buddhist temple. I repeat, it is located in Indonesia and it is world's largest Buddhist temple. Okay, I'll give you a very small example. This temple is constructed by Shailendra dynasty rulers. I repeat, the Borobudur temple was constructed by Shailendra dynasty ruler and in the local language it is also referred as Kandi Borobudur. I repeat, in the local language the Borobudur temple is also referred as Kandi Borobudur. It means an ancient structure. I repeat, an ancient structure. Okay, now this is majorly about the temples. Now let us talk about Buddhist literature. It is majorly divided into three parts, which is referred as Tripitakas. Tripitakas basically means three basket of books. One is Vinay Pitak, second is Sutta Pitak, third is Abhidhamma Pitak. I repeat, Vinay Pitak, Sutta Pitak and Abhidhamma Pitak. I'll give you a simple explanation of few seconds about individual Pitak. What is Vinay Pitak? Vinay Pitak is nothing but a book of discipline. These disciplines, like what discipline should be maintained by monks and nuns when they are staying in the monasteries, when they are staying in the caves, when they are staying in the vihar. Now, there is a ceremony which is referred as a Pavaran. This question has been asked in the UPSC Prelims exam. What we say, if monks and nuns have to commit any, what we say, offences done by them during the stay in the monsoon season, that ceremony is referred as Pavaran. And they need to follow strict discipline. And this is nothing but Vinay Pitak. So what sort of discipline needs to be maintained? That has been completely mentioned in Vinay Pitak. So Vinay Pitak is nothing but book on discipline for bhikshus and bhikshunis, that is monks and the nuns. Sutta Pitak. What is Sutta Pitak majorly all about? Sutta Pitak is basically talks about various Nikayas. There are sermons which are delivered by, there are long sermons of Buddha, there are medium sermons of Buddha, there are short sermons of Buddha, there are sermons of Buddha in the form of questions and answer, and this is nothing but Sutta Pittak. The sermons delivered by Buddha at various stages, that is Sutta Pittak. And finally comes Abhidhamma Pittak. It is nothing but the principles or the doctrines of Buddhism. Just while we have talked about Four Noble Truths, that is suffering, cause of suffering, cessation of suffering, path to cessation of suffering. Okay, that is what we say mentioned as a part of Buddhist principle. Then we have studied about eightfold path like right thought, right understanding, right wisdom, right effort, right concentration, right mindfulness, right speech, right livelihood, right action. All these are Buddhist principles, and all the Buddhist principles have been mentioned under various head and sections in Abhidhamma Pittak. Did you understand the concept, guys? Please let me know. Yes, please. Okay, now before I end the session, I would be speaking about Buddhist Council. Totally, there were 4 Buddhist Council. Okay, the first Buddhist Council was held at Satapani Caves, Rajgriha, and the first Buddhist Council, okay, it was patronized by Ajat Shatru. I repeat, there were totally 4 Buddhist Council. The first Buddhist Council was held at Satapani Caves in Rajgriha. It was patronized by Ajat Shatru. Okay, moving further, it is believed that in the first Buddhist Council, like there were certain differences between Sutta Pitaka and Vinay Pittak. So the disputes between Vinay Pittak and Sutta Pittak was resolved, and Abhidhamma Pittak was discussed. There is no word called as three Pittakas by now. I have just told Vinay Pittak and Sutta Pittak, the disputes were resolved and Abhidhamma Pittak was discussed. So what happened in the first Buddhist Council? What things do you need to remember about that? In the first Buddhist Council was held at Satapani Caves in Rajgriha. It was being patronized by Haranyaka dynasty ruler Ajat Shatru. Here the disputes between Vinay Pittak and Sutta Pittak were resolved and Abhidhamma Pittak was discussed. Coming to second Buddhist Council. Second Buddhist Council was held at a place called as Vaishali. It was patronized by Shishunaga dynasty ruler whose name was Kal Ashok or Kakavarna. Now what is the significance of this council? Here the Buddhism got divided into 2 parts. One was Thaviravada or Theravada and second was Mahasanghika. I repeat, one was Thaviravada or Theravada and second was Mahasanghika. Now Theravada, they believed in strict teachings of Buddhism, and Mahasanghika they believed in mild form of Buddhism. So this occurred in second Buddhist Council. So I repeat the points again. Second Buddhist Council was held at a place called as Vaishali. It was patronized by whom? It was patronized by Kal Ashok or Kakavarna. He was Shishunag dynasty ruler. And finally, the third major point, here the Buddhism was divided into 2 parts. That is Sthaviravada and Mahasanghika. Sthaviravada was what it was? They believed in strict principles of Buddhism. And Mahasanghika, they believed in liberal principles of Buddhism. Then finally comes third Buddhist Council. Third Buddhist Council was held at a place called as Patliputra and was being patronized by Ashok. I repeat, it was being patronized by Ashok. This council saw the compilation of 3 Pittakas like Vinay Pittak, Sutta Pittak and Abhidhamma Pittak were compiled in third Buddhist Council. So I'll repeat the points. Third Buddhist Council, it was held at Patliputra, which is nothing but modern day Patna. Then the third Buddhist Council was being patronized by whom? Ashok. And the major aspect that we need to remember, it saw the compilation of three Pitakas. Moving on to fourth Buddhist Council. Fourth Buddhist Council was patronized by Kushan dynasty ruler Kanishk. Now, fourth Buddhist Council was held in Kashmir, and here there was division of Buddhism into two parts, that is Heenyan and Mahayana. I repeat, there was division of Buddhism into two parts, that is Heenyan and Mahayana. So I'll repeat the fourth Buddhist Council. The fourth Buddhist Council was patronized by Kushan dynasty ruler Kanishk. It was held in Kashmir, and the fourth Buddhist Council, there was a division of what we say Buddhism into two parts, Heenyan and Mahayana. Please do not get confused, because there can be a probable question in the exam. There was division of Buddhism into Heenyan and Mahayana in second Buddhist Council. 90% of aspirant will mark this answer as true, but this is not true, because in the second Buddhist Council it was divided into Sthaviravada and Mahasangika. And finally, in the fourth Buddhist Council, it was divided into two parts, Heenyan and Mahayana. These are the major topics that you guys need to focus upon in the Buddhism chapter. So did you understand Buddhism? Please let me know. Any query, any question, any sort of doubt, please ask me. Yes, guys? Okay, so hope so the session was interesting. Hope so the session was informative and you got to learn something new. So please develop the similar approach while studying for Buddhism for the prelims exam. Okay, guys. So if you like my lectures, please do subscribe to Unacademy and use my code AKOUS. I repeat the code AKOUS. So it was very nice interacting with you guys. Thank you and have a very nice